There's something deeply comforting about staying the same, even after life asks you to grow. There's something that feels safe about holding onto your old patterns, your old fears, your old self-definitions, even when they don't fit anymore, even when you know somewhere deep down that who you've been is too small for who you're meant to become. Because change is terrifying. Growth is uncomfortable. Stepping into a new chapter means releasing the version of yourself that knew how to survive the old one. And that's not a small thing. That's a death of sorts, a letting go, a grieving of the familiar, even when the familiar was hurting you. And so many people stay stuck in lives they've outgrown because they don't want to grieve. They don't want to feel the terrifying emptiness of not knowing exactly who they are yet. They don't want to sit in the in-between space where the old self is gone, but the new self isn't fully formed. They don't want to lose the false certainty of old patterns, even if those patterns are keeping them small, scared, stuck. But here's the truth. Your next chapter deserves a different you. Not a you who's pretending. Not a you who is performing survival strategies that once protected you but now imprison you. Not a you who is editing your dreams to fit old fears. A different you, a freer you, a wiser you, a braver you, a you who isn't dragging all the old wounds into the new room. A you who isn't replaying old failures on loop in your mind. A you who isn't filtering every opportunity through the lens of old fears that no longer serve you, because your next chapter, the one you've been praying for, hoping for, aching for, cannot be lived by the version of you who stayed small to stay safe. It requires the version of you who is willing to risk shedding the old skin, shedding the old narratives, shedding the old self-sabotage, disguised caution. It requires the version of you who is willing to do the scary, sacred work of becoming someone who believes they are worthy, of building a life that fits their soul, becoming someone who knows how to hold success without sabotaging it out of fear, becoming someone who knows how to sit with uncertainty without running back to familiar pain, becoming someone who trusts that it's not only safe to grow, it's necessary. And this kind of becoming is not about abandoning your core essence. It's about returning to it. It's about stripping away everything but fear, shame, disappointment, and survival layered over your original self. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who you were supposed to be. It's about reclaiming the parts of yourself that are courageous, creative, hopeful, free. It's about meeting yourself at a deeper level and trusting that you are capable of carrying that deeper self into the new spaces life is opening for you. But here's the hard part. Becoming a different you requires intentional choices. It doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen because time passes. It happens because you choose day after day to show up differently. You choose to question the old narratives that tell you you're not good enough. You choose to notice when old fears try to dictate your decisions and choose love instead. You choose to stop negotiating with shame and start listening to your own knowing. You choose to move toward expansion even when contraction feels safer. You choose to let go of the coping mechanisms that once protected you but now limit you. You choose to allow discomfort to be part of your transformation instead of running from it. You choose to believe that you are allowed to evolve radically, unapologetically, even if it confuses the people who only knew you in your smaller chapters. And yes, it's scary, yes. It's vulnerable, yes. It means facing the parts of yourself you'd rather ignore, the fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear of visibility, the fear of judgment, the fear of loneliness, the fear that maybe, just maybe, you aren't enough. But here's the thing about fear. It's loudest right before the breakthrough. It screams the loudest when you are standing at the threshold of becoming. It throws everything it has at you. Old doubts, old insecurities, old shame, not because you are failing, but because you are getting close to stepping into the life that your old fear can no longer control. Close to becoming the version of yourself who no longer makes decisions based on past pain. Close to becoming someone who builds their future from love, from vision, from soul, not from wounds. And that version of you will not only walk into your next chapter, they will build it, inhabit it, thrive in it, because they will not be carrying the heavy baggage of who they had to be. To survive, they will be traveling light, clear, grounded, free. But first you had to say yes. Yes to becoming, yes to change, yes to discomfort, yes to growth that stretches beyond the edges of what you thought you could handle. Yes, to letting go of the old version of yourself, not because they were bad or broken, but because they brought you as far as they could, and now it's time to go further. Yes, to loving yourself enough to evolve. Yes, to trusting that the future you are dreaming about is not only possible, it's waiting for you to become the person who can live it. You are not stuck, you are not broken, you are not trapped by your past. You are being invited to evolve. You are being invited to step into the next version of yourself. You are being invited to become the person your next chapter requires. And you are capable of it. Even if it feels slow, even if it feels terrifying, even if it feels lonely at times, growth is rarely comfortable, but it is always worth it, because the life you want, the life that fits your soul, is on the other side of who you are willing to become. Not someday, not when you're perfect, not when you feel totally ready, but now in the messy, brave, holy middle of becoming. So take a deep breath, honor who you've been. Thank them for surviving. Thank them for carrying you this far. And then, with as much love and courage as you can muster, let them go step into the new. Step into the next step. Into the you who is capable of living the life you are still brave enough to want. Your next chapter deserves a different you. And you, exactly as you are trembling and trying and rising, are ready to become them. When you choose to become the version of yourself your next chapter requires, you don't erase your past. You transcend it. You don't abandon who you were. You honor them while choosing not to be ruled by their fears anymore. You gather all the lessons, all the wisdom, all the growth, and you leave behind only the heavy parts, the shame, the guilt, the limiting beliefs that were never truly yours to carry. Because living from your history will keep you chained to old definitions. Living from your becoming will set you free. And freedom, real, soul-deep freedom, is the soil where your next chapter will grow. But here's the thing about freedom. It's active, not passive. It's not something you wait for. It's something you choose. Breath by breath, choice by choice. Day by day, choosing freedom. Looks like catching yourself when the old fears rise and choosing differently. It looks like noticing when the voice of doubt gets loud and speaking back with love. It looks like recognizing when you are tempted to shrink to fit old patterns and standing tall anyway. It looks like trusting that, even if the old version of you would have said no out of fear, the becoming you is allowed to say yes out of faith. It looks like allowing yourself to expand into opportunities that scare you, because growth should scare you a little. It means risking discomfort. It means risking being seen differently. It means risking leaving behind relationships, environments, expectations that only made sense to the old you. And yes, that's painful. Yes, that's lonely at times. Yes, that's disorienting, but it's also necessary, because you cannot carry the old cages into a new life and expect to feel free. You cannot carry old shame into a future built on self-trust. You cannot carry old survival patterns into a life rooted in joy. You cannot carry old self-betrayal into a future where you live aligned, proud and whole. Becoming different isn't just about mindset. It's about embodiment. It's about living differently, choosing differently, showing up differently. Not once, not perfectly, but consistently, tenderly, bravely. It means allowing the discomfort of growth to be a sign you are on the right track, not a sign you are failing. It means letting the stretch be a teacher, not an enemy. It means building the muscle of resilience every single time you choose. You're becoming over your history. Because here's the truth, every moment, you are tempted to go back to the old habits, the old stories, the old identities as a doorway, a choice point, a sacred moment where you get to decide. Do I choose who I was, or do I choose who I am becoming? Do I stay loyal to the fears that kept me safe but small, or do I stay loyal to the future that is calling me forward? And with every small choice for your becoming, you anchor yourself deeper into the life you are meant to live. You begin to trust your own voice more than the echoes of the past. You begin to align your actions with your vision, not your fears. You begin to create momentum that compounds, that builds, that strengthens. You become the kind of person who doesn't just dream about new chapters. You live them fully, boldly. Honestly, imperfectly, yes, but powerfully, and the world begins to respond. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach start appearing, not because the world changed, but because you did. Relationships that nourish and challenge you find their way into your orbit, because you are no longer settling for less. Dreams that felt impossible start feeling inevitable because you are no longer sabotaging yourself before you even begin, all because you dared to believe that you didn't have to stay the same. All because you dared to believe that growth was not a betrayal of your past, but a fulfillment of your potential. All because you dared to become the version of yourself your next chapter deserves. And that version of you, they are magnetic, they are resilient, they are open, they are free. They are not pretending to have it all figured out. They are not faking perfection. They are living, breathing human. Proof that real strength is not in never falling. It's in rising again and again and again. Each time more honest, more aligned, more brave. So, if today you find yourself standing in the messy middle between who you were and who you are becoming, know this: you are not failing. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are being remade, you are being refined. You are being prepared for a life that requires a freer, fuller version of you, and you are rising to meet it. Step by trembling step, trust the process. Trust the slow, sacred unfolding. Trust that the fear you feel is not a stop sign. It's a signal that you are touching the edges of your old limits and preparing to move beyond them. Trust that every choice you make to honor your becoming, however small, however imperfect, is building something inside you that no one can take away. Trust that you are not leaving anything behind that was meant to stay, only the weights that would have kept you grounded when you are meant to fly. Trust that your next chapter isn't just about different circumstances, it's about a different you. A you who is no longer at war with yourself. A you who no longer abandons your own dreams for the comfort of others' expectations. A you who no longer apologizes for wanting more. Dreaming bigger, loving deeper, living freer. A you who stands tall in your own skin and says, I am worthy, I am ready. I am enough, and you are. You always have been, you always will be. So breathe, bless your journey. Honor the old chapters, even as you turn the page and walk forward. Not as the old version of you pretending to be new, but as the true version of you, living into your next chapter with open hands, open heart, open hope. You are ready, you are becoming. You are exactly who your future has been waiting for. Keep going.